It's time to talk about your favorite topic tonight, property investment. And joining me on the line is Bernard Tong, CEO of EdgeProp.sg. And as you know, EdgeProp.sg is the portal that provides you with news, listings, and property analyses. It is the property weekly that's part of the Edge Singapore Business and Investment Weekly. So, Bernard, what's happening in the property market since we last spoke last week?
Good evening, Tim. We've been talking about upcoming launches over the past few weeks, and two projects officially launched over the weekend. So the first is Oxley Holdings' The Veranda Residences, which saw close to 130 units sold, or about 80% of the entire development. Park Place Residences at Paya Lebar Quarter, which is the other project, sold close to 150 units in the remaining 219 units project, or roughly about 70% of the second phase. Both projects were priced in the $1,800 to $1,900 PSF range, and they are both city fringe projects.
All right. Well, it looks like all these sales at new launches is going quite strong. What do you think? Do you think this will continue for newer projects throughout the year?
Yes, Tim, we believe so. Actually, our own internal EdgeProp research certainly supports that. In the second half of 2017, the supply of new launches actually fell by more than half if you compare it to the year before. There was significant pent-up demand, which basically translates to higher prices. And we believe supply has yet to catch up to this pent-up demand.
Okay, so where do you think buyers listening to us right now should be focusing at? Which areas in Singapore will they have the best price appreciation potential?
So far this year, in 2018, city fringe regions saw the slowest increase in prices, which is up 1.1% in the first quarter. Now, if you compare it to the city area has appreciated by about 5%, and outside city area, the price has appreciated by about 3.8%. So both the Veranda Residences, which is in Pasir Panjang, and Park Place Residences at Paya Lebar Quarter are in city fringes. And coming up later this month is UOL Group's Amber 45 in the east. It is also in the city fringe. So with these new launches, prices in the city fringe should catch up with the rest.
Okay, well, what about for the prime districts then? Do you see prices going up even further, or are they going to stabilize somewhere?
Interestingly, last year, the area that saw the most significant price increase was in District 4, which is the Telok Blangah, Harbourfront, and Sentosa Cove areas. So according to Knight Frank research, median price in District 4 increased 20% year over year in 2017. Oh, wow. So in Sentosa Cove alone, actually, so condo prices has increased 16% and transaction volume has more than doubled. And prices seem to be recovering in the Sentosa Cove area after a few years of being in the doldrum. Right. So as mentioned earlier, the city area saw the biggest picked up in prices, and we do expect this to continue. And this is because, again, of all the new launches in the prime districts, such as CDL's New Futura and Gramercy Park, Guacoland's Martin Modern, as well as Keppel's Reflections at Keppel Bay. So the price increase for these developments have ranges from 5 to about 14%.
Okay, what's it looking like in the suburbs, though, outside the city areas?
The suburbs saw price increase of about 4% in the last quarter. This is where affordability is important, as buyers are the most price sensitive. And it's also actually where the biggest pool of demand is. So in the first quarter, for example, transactions in the suburb actually accounted for about half of all transaction volume in Singapore. So, and these are driven by projects such as Grandeur Park next to the Tanah Merah MRT station, as well as Symphony Suites in Yishun. So it will also be interesting to see the launch of River Cove Residences, which is coming up. So it's the executive condo in Sengkang. It's the first EC to be launched this year.
Okay, let's talk about the long-term outlook for Singapore's property market. Let's just say I have $1 million to invest today, which I don't. Just to be clear to people listening there, okay? Where should I put my money if I have that $1 million?
Well, Tim, history is always a good guidance. So if you look at the three areas we spoke about today, so the city areas, city fringe, and outside the city, The area where prices have actually appreciated the most over the last 10 years is actually in the suburbs, so outside the city. But in a recovering market, it is normal where the prime locations and luxury products would see the largest price gain, and this is where the hot money is today. However, over the longer term, and with government's initiative to decentralize our workspaces and our living spaces into the suburbs, I believe that this is where the smart money should go into. And in any case, if you only have $1 million today, and if you're not leveraging, yes, you can't buy anything in the city.
Just a quick follow-up then. Last week we were talking about the developments in the west side in the Jurong Lake area.
That's correct.
When that becomes the third CBD, then would that be considered still a suburb or not anymore?
I think the government's plan is to convert Jurong into the second CBD. So when
second, not third, okay.
No, so when that happens, I think prices will definitely catch up.
Okay. All right, Bernard. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And Bernard, where can they read about this?
They can head over to EdgeProp.sg to read about the latest news and to find the latest property listings, or you can pick up a copy of the Edge Weekly today.
All right, Bernard, thank you very much. Bernard Tong there, the CEO of EdgeProp.sg. Here on 938 Now, you're listening to Your Evening Escape.